There is a side of you that you rarely show the world, a side that remains hidden, a side that most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid. Carl Jung called this hidden part of the personality the shadow. And according to Jung, understanding the shadow may be one of the most important steps toward understanding yourself. Most people believe they know who they are. They can describe their personality, their strengths, their values, their goals. But what if the person you think you are is only part of the story? What if there are thoughts, desires, fears, and impulses operating beneath the surface that you've never fully acknowledged? Jung believed this was exactly the case. He argued that every human being develops a public identity, a version of themselves that is acceptable to society, a version that receives approval, a version that feels safe. As children, we quickly learn which parts of ourselves are welcomed and which parts are rejected. Perhaps you were praised for being polite, so you embraced politeness. Perhaps you were criticized for being angry, so you learned to suppress anger. Perhaps you were rewarded for being agreeable, so you hid your desire to disagree. Little by little, parts of your personality were pushed out of sight, not destroyed, not removed, simply hidden. And those hidden parts became the shadow. Imagine a room inside your mind. Every trait you dislike about yourself gets locked inside that room. Every emotion you fear, every impulse you judge, every weakness you deny, every desire that feels unacceptable. Over time, the room becomes full, but the door never truly locks. The contents remain alive. They influence your thoughts, your relationships, your decisions, your fears, even when you're unaware of them. This is why Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Many people spend years wondering why they keep repeating the same mistakes, why they sabotage opportunities, why certain situations trigger intense emotional reactions, why the same types of conflicts keep appearing in their lives. The answer often lies in the shadow, because what we refuse to face continues to influence us from behind the scenes. One of the most surprising aspects of Jung's theory is that the shadow is not only negative. Most people assume the shadow contains only dark qualities: anger, greed, jealousy, aggression. But Jung believed the shadow can also contain positive qualities: strength, confidence, creativity, leadership, courage. Many people hide these traits because they fear judgment. A child who is repeatedly told not to stand out may suppress ambition. A person who is punished for speaking honestly may suppress confidence. A talented individual who fears attention may suppress creativity. In these cases, the shadow contains potential rather than danger. And the tragedy is that the person never fully becomes who they could be. Another way the shadow reveals itself is through projection. Projection occurs when we see our own hidden traits in other people. Think about the individuals who provoke unusually strong reactions in you, the people you instantly dislike, the people who seem to trigger irrational irritation, the people who make you angry for reasons you struggle to explain. Jung believed these reactions often contain valuable information. Sometimes we hate in others what we secretly fear in ourselves. Sometimes we criticize others for traits we possess but refuse to acknowledge. This doesn't mean every criticism is projection, but many are. The people we judge most intensely often become mirrors, and those mirrors reveal parts of ourselves we would rather avoid. This can be uncomfortable, but it can also be incredibly liberating, because every projection contains an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to become more aware. The goal of Jung's psychology was never perfection, it was integration. Integration means accepting the reality of your full personality, not just the parts you like, the complete picture, your strengths, your weaknesses, your kindness, your anger, your courage, your fear, your confidence, your insecurity. Most people spend their lives trying to appear good. Jung believed a healthier goal was becoming whole, because a person who denies their anger is not necessarily peaceful. They may simply be disconnected from reality. A person who denies their fear is not necessarily brave. They may simply lack self-awareness. Real growth begins when we stop pretending certain parts of ourselves don't exist, and start understanding why they exist. The shadow does not disappear through denial. It grows stronger. What we resist often persists. What we ignore often gains power. What we suppress often returns in unexpected ways. This is why self-awareness matters. The more conscious you become of your hidden motivations, the less power they have over you. The more willing you are to examine your fears, the less those fears control your behavior. The more honestly you confront your weaknesses, the stronger you become. Carl Jung believed that the privilege of a lifetime is becoming who you truly are. But becoming who you truly are requires courage. The courage to look inward. The courage to question your assumptions. The courage to face uncomfortable truths. And perhaps most importantly, the courage to meet your shadow. Because hidden within that darkness may be the very parts of yourself you've been searching for all along.